Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Just catching up on a little bit of pre-show prep that I thought I had done, kind of snuck up on me. Also, I'm keeping an eye. I'm communicating right now, talking with a couple of charity charter trips that I have scheduled. I have one scheduled for tomorrow and one scheduled for Sunday. And the weather's not looking real good for either one of them. Now, Sunday, it's too early to say, yeah, we're not going to go Sunday because things can change. But we're talking about a pretty hard west northwest blow. Tomorrow, a northeast blow. The question is, will it be enough to keep me off the water? I don't know. But Mother Nature is not cooperating. That's for sure. Cliff, good morning. How are you? Gene, always a pleasure. Hey, Craig. Greg, looking at the weather, I got trips. I fished Monday. See, I had 3 trips this week. Monday with the Grillos. It was an excellent day. Caught a lot of big fish. I'm supposed to fish tomorrow. It's not looking real promising. And I have another charity charter on Sunday. A early forecast for Sunday looks like a blow day too. So, and I hate to postpone these trips because it's a hassle for the people who have the trips because they've got them all scheduled and they've got people lined up. And it's a hassle for me too because then, I've got these things spaced out every couple of days, every few days. And good. I just got a text from the one guy. And if I don't do them, it jams me all up. Tim, good morning. Hello, Jordan. How are you? Always a pleasure to have you along with us. Corey, Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. We'll know Monday, Tuesday, Johnny. Atlantic out of All Gray. How cool is that? Good morning, Uncle Johnny. How are you? We'll have a fat bottom, Betty, and don't stress. I can't control the weather. And the good news is I just got a text from my crew on Sunday and they say, hey, Mike, don't worry about it. In fact, I'll read it verbatim. No worries, Mike. My dad and boys and I have fished enough to understand. Your call. We'll keep in touch. Yeah, that's the kind of people I want to have my boat. Hey, John Callison. Good morning. How are you? Yeah, I want to get these trips done. Want to get them all taken care of, off the books, and just get out and have some fun with people. We had a great trip Monday with the Grillos. I call them the Grillo guys. Butch Grillo, the patriarch, Joe Grillo, his son, Little Joe, and Nick Grillo. We were all on the boat Monday, and we had a great day. It ended up blowing pretty hard, but we were able to do a couple of real long downhill strokes and caught some nice fish. Really, I mean, surprisingly nice fish. Our biggest fish was just under 26 inches, and we lost a bigger one. This was a stud for a summertime fish. Right at the back of the boat. Not right at the back of the boat. Probably 15 feet behind the boat. We had a chance to see him and see how big he was, but he just came unbuttoned. It happens. Uncle Johnny, thank you for driving to the UP and picking up my new Rapid River knife. This is a replacement knife for the one that I had some problems with. This is actually woolly mammoth ivory. I know it seems crazy, but it is. And my other one, there were a couple of cracks in it. And the cracks didn't bother me. I thought it gave it character until one of the pieces actually fell out. I thought that they were just going to fix my old knife, but they actually gave me a new one. So thank you, Chris Durson of Rapid River. Chris actually is on the radio show this week. Okay. Jordan says, always, good morning, Dave. Jordan says, always respect the big lake. You have to. You have to. My Angler Quest can take a lot of water. It can take more than I can, but it's just uncomfortable. If I get a crew out there like tomorrow, I don't think they're fishermen. So, I'll be running the boat and fishing and everything else. Hey, Cap, good morning. How are you? Bruce, good morning. Hey, Doug, I was just talking about I've got a trip scheduled for tomorrow and I've got a trip scheduled for Sunday, and Mother Nature doesn't look like she wants to cooperate for either. Doug, I saw a post from you about using downscan to find fish in the weeds, which I found very interesting. On my boat, I haven't been running downscan. I've been running traditional sonar along with side scan. I never even think about using downscan, but I'm not sure if in that 10 to 13 feet of water with primarily no weeds that I fish, it would be of a benefit. What do you think? Good morning, Josh. Josh, you sent me something about your tournament next year that I have not responded to, at least the second email. I apologize. I do want to. Oh, it looks great now. Excellent. Um, Josh, I do want to support your tournament financially. So I'm not ignoring you. I just haven't gotten around to it. Doug says they changed the forecast for tomorrow big time. Looks great now. We'll see. Excellent. Jordan, I just don't do the what day is it anymore. You know, it's Wednesday, it's Juneteenth, whatever the hell that means. What day is it? It's Monday, Tuesday. You know, Jordan, I haven't done this for a while, and I'm feeling like maybe I should admit that it is hump day. Somebody was asking for it, Art. I couldn't resist. Jordan Hoover, all the way from the UP, got on here and he says, Mike, what day is it? Mike, what day is it? Hump day. There, Jordan, you happy now? I made a fool of myself because of you, Jordan Hoover. All right, Josh. Yeah, Josh, hold me to that, Josh. I will. I want to be a part of it. Yes, please do that, Doug. Come on in here, Art. I wouldn't be a Wednesday night or a behind the mic. Doug is a master at those electronics. Him and Lance Valentine and this guy right here. This guy right here knows fishing electronics better than anybody I know. He is a master with a fishing rod. He knows what bait, how far back, how deep, what colors. I'm telling you, this guy right here, Art Lewis, you think he's just a broadcast icon? You think he's just a member of the Broadcasting Hall of Fame? No, this guy's a good fisherman too.
And all of that is true, as long as Mike Avery's telling me what to do.
Thanks, Art. Always a pleasure. We will see you in West Branch on July 29th for the golf outing. Physical therapy. Listen later. All right, Tim. No problem. Josh. Craig says, you still got it. Josh says, that dang Jordan. Yeah, figured I'd have the new holiday off. You know, Johnny, by next Wednesday, we will know whether I do have my bear tag or not. And I think I probably will. John checking in from St. Louis. Brian says, good morning, Mike and Art. Oh, good morning, Jerry, Mike. Doug Ward is a Saginaw Bay legend. He is. He is. He is. The man knows his stuff. And the thing about Doug, well, one of the things about Doug is he's a good guy, very generous guy, always willing to donate his time and his talents. What does God say you have to donate? Your time and your talents to the church, but also to people and to things you support and believe in. And Doug does that. And Doug, I appreciate that. Jordan, deer management workday with the NRC coming quick, deer regs to be voted in July. All right, Johnny. Talk to you tonight, buddy. Have a good day. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. Stay out of Vandy's. Good morning, Jim. How are you? Okay. Some things I wanted to talk about tonight or today on this edition of Behind the Mic, because I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Some things to talk about. What summertime is officially Thursday, Friday. But man, it's been hot, hasn't it? Miserably hot. I'm looking forward to Monday when we were out there. It was a really nice day. I didn't realize how hot it was till we got back to shore. If I could get a good revised weather forecast for tomorrow, Doug Ward, I would be a very happy guy. And Sunday, I'd be a very happy guy. Steve says, good morning, Mike. 5 days until we find out. What's the scoop on the new legislation being worked out for disabled hunters? I have absolutely no idea, Joe, and I'm not being sarcastic or facetious. I have no idea. Jim, good morning. How are you? 5 days until we find out about bear tags and elk tags, but nobody mentions that because we all know we're not going to get elk tags. Fishing. Been fishing. Fishing's been pretty good. Big fish. My last trip with the Grillo guys of Michigan Brand Meats. By the way, the folks who make this right here. What I have in the studio today, smoked beef, the original recipe from Michigan Brand Meats, michiganbrand.net. I had those guys on the boat. They're fun to fish with because Nick Grillo in particular is a really good fisherman. So I just worry about my side of the boat. He runs his side of the boat, and it all works out very well. Yes, Brian, I did apply for the 3rd season. Happy Wednesday right back at you, Ricky. Or should I say happy June 19th? I want my holiday. Nope, not even going to go there. Number 7, flicker minnows. We were in 10 to 14 feet of water, making a downhill troll about 2.5 miles an hour, 2.4, 2.5. Number 7, flicker minnows. 35 feet back was the hot length. We ran them as 50, got fish on all of our leads. A pink perch. I posted a picture on the Facebook page. I don't know the real name of it, but we couldn't keep that in the water. Love flicker minnows, hate the hooks. The hooks you get on a flicker minnow out of the and why is it that it used to be that Hottentots were the go-to bait on Saginaw Bay, and you can still run Hottentots and get fish, right? Pashiki grade, which now why Brian? Brian says Pashiki grade awaits you possibly. Now, this is interesting, Brian, because what I know of Pashiki grade is where they drop the moose off when the moose lift. So what are you talking about? Craig says northeast 12 to 15 tomorrow at the Saginaw Bay Light. That's what I thought. But our mutual friend Doug Ward said they've recently changed the forecast and it looks much better. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate that. Pashiki grade. I think of Pashiki grade as a moose area, not an elk area. Mike, good luck to you. Anyway, I love flicker minnows. It was Hottentots, and then it was flicker shad. Now it's flicker minnows. They'll probably all still catch fish. In fact, I'm sure they will. There's a man I'm talking about right there, Nick Grillo. Nick, I was just talking about you, how fun it is to fish with you because you're such a good angler. I run my side of the boat, you run your side of the boat, and we catch big fish. What else do I like about Michigan Brand? Right here. Our snack in the studio this morning, Michigan Brand original smoked beef, michiganbrand.net, michiganbrand.net. So what you're saying, it is another hot one, even down here too. Jay, good morning. What you're saying, Craig Plowman, is that you're looking at Windfinder right now and you're saying Doug Ward is crazy. You're saying Doug Ward is nuts. You're saying Doug Ward is wrong. Somebody just said on here, Doug Ward is a Saginaw Bay icon. Don't be dissing Doug Ward. Gotcha. Yeah, Brian, now I'm getting it. Thank you. Well, if I get my tag, I'll be hunting down in Newberry, just outside of Seney with Johnny Bowler. That's the plan. Good morning, Bernie. You know how plans go. But I hate the hooks on the flicker minnows. They're extremely sharp, but they're junk. They're absolute junk. You land 2 fish on them and have to use pliers to get them out. Scott Hand says the updated version of Windfinder is better info. Scott Hand, I was talking about you last week here on the radio show and what a good job you and everybody did on the Walleye for Warriors event. Nice job, buddy. Really, really nice job. Congratulations. You made a lot of people happy. Craig saw 9 and 10 news. Oh, no, John. I know what you're talking about now. Yes. In fact, thank you for reminding me on that. Justin Tomei of MUCC will be on the show this week to talk about that and other things, the status of that. Hey, that sounds good, Jordan. Gavin, good morning, buddy. How are you? Doug says Windfinder Pro uses a different weather model. I choose to use the weather forecast for tomorrow that will allow me to fish. I choose to ignore the forecast that calls for strong northeast winds. Now, when it comes right down to it, I'm not going to go out there in strong northeast winds. So tomorrow is probably going to be a blow day for my trip. I'm hoping to get Sunday in. Sunday calls for west-northwest, but give me a 5 to 10 mile an hour southwest wind on Saginaw Bay any day of the week. You are more than welcome, Scott. Austin says, I work at Readers. We just did the 2-inch stone around your backyard. Austin, I put in a good word for you guys with both John and Paul. I told them what a great job you guys did. You guys worked your butts off. Fortunately, it wasn't quite as hot then as it is now. I'm going to post some pictures of that online. It looks really nice, and you were very generous with a stone. I had to do some manipulation with the low voltage lighting out there and realize just how much stone you guys put out there. Thank you, Austin. You guys did a great job. I appreciate it. Reader Landscaping, by the way, readerlandscaping.com, readerlandscaping.com. Gene says you're going to find out a charter on September 7th. Northeast keeps the bay from turning into a heated tub. That's the one good thing, Scott. Thank you for bringing that up. And I talked about that earlier. That as much as I don't like northeast winds, they blow cool water into my beloved shallow water, my skinny water, and keeps the fish in there. If we didn't have northeast winds, if we just had southwest, there'd be no fish left, except for those that were already cooked. Rapid River Knives. This is my new one. RapidRiverKnifeWorks.us. Use the promo code Avery10 or go into the shop like my brother-in-law, my buddy Johnny Craves, Uncle Johnny did. Get Avery10 to get 10% off. Here's the new edition, the new news for this week. Jay's Sporting Goods is also honoring the Avery 10 promo. You can go into Jay's now and get 10% off by saying Avery 10 at checkout. The golf outing, it is Monday, July 29th, and surprisingly, it's not sold out yet. I thought we would be at this point. I'm confident we will. I thought we would be now, but we still have openings for players, and we'll take all the sponsorship we can get to raise. Steve, good morning, buddy. Again, condolences on your family's loss. She was a wonderful, wonderful Christian woman. But I can just see her and your dad now. So it's all good, right, buddy? Anyway, Steve, good morning. Nice to have you along with us. My last trip, thank you, John. My last trip fishing, Steve, we got into big fish, biggest fish of the summer, right in there, right close. So it was a good trip. MUCC.org/golf. We're looking for more sponsors. I want to raise as much money as possible for MUCC's youth camp. Plus, I want a full field of golfers. And Scott Hand, I pulled the trigger. Denise and I went down to Carl's Golfland in Bloomfield Hills on Saturday, and I got myself a new set of clubs. I got myself a set of old man clubs. So you're in trouble now, Scott Hand. Good morning, Mitchell. Lance Valentine, Sir Lancelot of Walleye 101. How you doing, buddy? How's that knee coming along? Lance, we need you back out there on the water because you bring good mojo. And finally, website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. The email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Also, you are aware that I do a Behind the Mic live stream like we are right now. And then every Wednesday night at 7, I do a Wednesday night live. Although during the summertime, the number of live viewers is down for both this segment and Wednesday night live. I get that. There's a lot going on. But you can also always look at the recorded version. I don't see any rain for the next little while. Do you, Brian? And continuing to be hot. Fishing Friday. Excellent, Lance. Excellent. I'm supposed to fish tomorrow, Lance. I don't think I'm going to be able to. And I have a trip for Sunday, and I'm hoping to. Craig Plowman. Go slow and fish with Craig Plowman. between you and Lance and this whole worm thing, this whole crawler thing, because my good friend Lance Valentine says, no, I never fish with crawlers. Then I ask him about it. He says, no, I never fish with crawlers. And then you did something about fishing with crawlers, Lance. You broke my heart. Charles, good morning. We will do a Wednesday night live from Saginaw Bay when Brad Dupuis gets the new prototype of his Angler Quest QUEST. We're going to do Wednesday night live out of Linwood Beach. Yeah, I hit 4 different clubs. I hit the Mizunos, I hit the Wilsons, I hit the Callaways, and I hit the Pings, and I actually like the Callaways best. So I got myself a new set of Callaways in inch and a half longer. Well, that's just, I spent more than I wanted to, but it's the last set of clubs I'm ever going to buy, right? So you only, one blast off. All right, my friends. I'm going to switch my focus here now from talking with you on behind the mic to actually recording the show, the radio show. So I'm not going to be able to directly answer your questions. Lance says, just in Detroit, Bay. All right, my friends, have a good day. I'm going to talk about many of the same things I've already discussed here, so don't think I'm crazy because I'm going to say, hey, it's officially summer. Well, it will be by the time they hear the show. Have a good day. See you tonight at 7, Wednesday Night Live. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. And so glad to have you along with us as we continue our weekly 3-hour celebration of the outdoors, the history and tradition of the outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan, and occasionally beyond. Well, it is officially summertime now. As you're listening to this radio show, the calendar says summer, but you know that it's been basically summer for a while, right? Mother Nature has been a little hot this past week. In fact, miserably hot this past week. Seems too early to be this hot. But what are we going to do about it, right? All you can do is talk about it. All you can do is complain about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Just try to make the most of it. Okay, so here in Michigan, we will know the 24th. What is that, Tuesday? Whether we got our bear or elk tags. You're not going to get your elk tag. I'm telling you that right now. But you might get your bear tag. And for the minuscule percentage of handful of people who do get an elk tag, congrats. And maybe you'll even get a bull tag. Congrats. I am cautiously optimistic that I will get the 3rd season in the Newberry Bear Management Unit. And if so, I will hunt with Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. Johnny owes me a bear. Last time I was up there with Johnny, didn't get my bear because he had another mutual friend of ours on that same property. And that person, Scott, shot a huge bear. I think he shot my bear. So, Johnny, pressure's on this year, buddy. And I'm just kidding. I'm happy for you, Scott and Johnny. I'm just busting your chops. Kind of. So, what have I been doing? I've been fishing. Now, as I'm sitting here in the studio, I actually have a charity trip scheduled for tomorrow that the weather forecast doesn't look too good for. And then I've got one scheduled for Sunday that looks iffy. Although, as I'm sitting here in the studio on Wednesday, there's no way in the world I would ever cancel a trip several days in advance. But Mother Nature's not cooperating. She did cooperate enough on my last trip that I know I was on the water. Michigan Brand Meats, the crew from Michigan Brand. I call them the Grillo guys. Patriarch Mike Grillo, Butch, Joe Grillo, his son Little Joe, who is a riot to fish with because the kid is so enthusiastic and he gets so excited about everything, and he loves to hunt, he loves to fish. I love to see that type of excitement in a young kid. And then Nick Grillo, Nick, a good friend of mine, we fish together quite a bit. It's a pleasure. Well, it's a pleasure to fish with anybody. You know, people who aren't used to being out there and who have never had the experience before, and I can share the resource that is the Saginaw Bay Walleye Fishery with them, and everything that they see me doing is new to them. So that's kind of cool to be able to share, but it's also really cool and relaxing to fish with a crew who knows what they're doing, like the Grillos. These guys are hardcore hunters and anglers, and Nick especially. I mean, Nick just takes one side of the boat, I take the other side. We were running 5 rods on each side, and you gotta kind of have it together to start running 5 lines out there, 5 boards to minimize tangles. You're never going to eliminate tangles, right? But to minimize tangles, running behind the offshore or our 12 boards. Isn't it interesting that Saginaw Bay years ago used to be a Hottentot fishery only? Man, if you weren't running Hottentots, you were nothing. It was a Hottentots, Hottentots, Hottentots. Purple Hottentots with the rattle were the cat's meow. Where did that come from? And then for a couple of years, it went to flicker shads. So I bought a whole bunch of flicker shads. I'm still caught the Hottentots too. And then, and I don't know if this is because fishermen are fickle or if because the marketing people drove it, or if it's because the forage base on Saginaw Bay actually changed enough that they were looking for the profile of a more narrow bait. So now it's flicker minnows for the most part. I mean, spoons behind jets, behind tadpoles, they catch a lot of fish. Mr. Angler Quest, my friend Brad Dupuis, fishes nothing but spoons, and he's one of the best fishermen I know. So spoons will catch fish, and crawler harnesses catch fish. Slow trolling on the bottom, a bottom bouncer or suspended fish with a crawler harness is a killer tactic. It's a killer technique. They catch a lot of fish that way. I don't like it, and I have fun joking around about it, primarily because I can't troll at 1.2, 1.3 miles an hour. It drives me bonkers. So I troll along at 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, high twos, low twos, pulling crankbaits. The flicker minnow is a great bait, but could I just say that the hook that they put on them is absolute junk? They're sharp. Oh my goodness, are they sharp? It's real easy to stick yourself with a flicker minnow hook. And I love the red color, but they're soft, they're brittle. They're absolute junk. And I know you can swap them out with a higher quality hook, and that's what we do after they get beat up. But I resent the fact that I pay good money to buy a bait and then I have to replace the hooks on it. I mean, you catch 1 fish, 2 fish, you have to take the hooks out with pliers, and those hooks are junk. So yes, swap them out. Okay, I get that. Can we talk about bait tuning for a minute? Now, this is a concept I think made most famous probably by Mark Romanek of Fishing 411. But your bait, if it's not tuned, is not going to be as effective as possible, and it's going to run off to the right or off to the left, and it's going to cause you more tangles and more hassles. Every time I am fishing with somebody, I say, hey, check that bait to make sure it's running right. And then I'll watch them out of the corner of my eye. And most people, even some seasoned fishermen, will free spool it. They'll drop it back 10 feet behind the boat at the most. And if the bait wobbles, they say, yep, it's good. It's running right. You can't tune a bait that way. You don't know if it's running right. You've got to drop that thing back 20 feet, 25, 30 feet behind the boat and then reel in as you're trolling, because at 2.5 miles an hour, 10 feet behind the boat, they're all going to look like they're running good. Drop it back a ways and then reel it in to put some more speed on it. And you will immediately see if that bait is going to blow out to the right or blow out to the left. And you've got to tune it. You do that with an offshore that easy tuning tool or a set of needle nose pliers. If it's running to the left, you move the eye to the right and vice versa. And it can be it can be tough. I did treat myself this week. I got myself a couple of new reels because the existing equipment on the Angler Quest is getting a little long in the tooth, a little rough. When I realized that some of my reels are like 25 years old, Okay. All right. You've gotten your money's worth out of them. And if I was salmon fishing, I never could have done this. But walleye fishing, that you don't take out any drag. You don't worry about that. A couple of new Okuma 20s. I love those line counter reels. I also am swapping out some rods. I found a bunch of 7 foot medium light rods I had in storage that were hiding on me. My ideal length for a trolling rod for walleye is 7.5 feet. I don't like them longer than that because they're hard to manipulate. They get in the way when you start, rigging them and setting them. You got to slide the butt of the rod up behind you, up on the floor of the Angler Quest, and it gets in the way. So I found some 7 footers, and I'm liking those a lot. So with those new Okuma 20s and the 7 footers, I am ready to rock as long as Mother Nature will allow. So, Mother Nature, I appreciate the fact that you give us northeast winds on Saginaw Bay in the summertime because it blows cooler water into the inner bay to keep those fish there longer. So, I appreciate that. But could you just blow from the northeast on the days that I'm not going to fish, please? And the days that I'm going to fish, could you give us a 5 to 10 mile an hour southwest wind? Then everything would be good. Speaking of everything being good, I have a new Rapid River knife in my hands right now. My old one actually chipped off a little bit. Woolly mammoth one. This is one of the really fancy ones, but designed to be used. Sent it up to Rapid River. I thought they were going to fix it. They replaced it. Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now the promo code Avery10 has been expanded. You can save 10% on a Rapid River knife if you go into the showroom or if you go online to rapidriverknifeworks.us. But guess what? The folks at Jay's Sporting Goods have jumped on board. You can go into Jay's and Claire or Gaylord or online and order a Rapid River there and use the promo code Avery10 and get 10% off. Don't forget about the golf outing to benefit MUCC's youth camp. We still have openings for players and certainly for sponsors. MUCC.org/golf, MUCC.org/golf. That's coming up in like a month now. So get to it. Coming up after the break, speaking of Jay's, Jeff Poet of Jay's Sporting Goods talks about the new Weber Outdoor Education Center. And then Chris Durson from Rapid River follows up on what I was just saying. In our second hour, Jason Karstens on fishing the UP. Justin Tomei with some news out of Lansing. He also answers this week's Ask Avery question. And in our third hour, it's Bobby Sullivan of Icebreaker Charters compares walleye fishing to salmon fishing. And we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. That's coming up this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. Okay. Here's the one I wanted to address. Randy, do you know if they're talking about baiting for the coming deer season? There's never going to be baiting, Randy. Forget about it. Baiting's not coming back. I think that's a shame. I think it's a mistake. Do not look for baiting to come back because if the powers that be suddenly say, okay, we can allow baiting now, it takes away all their credibility because they've said that we can't have baiting because baiting spreads disease. And if they now come back and say, well, that's not really true. Well, it's not going to happen. We're not going to have baiting in Michigan for whitetails as long as the current people are in power. All right, my friends, I see some more questions, but I got to go. Harry, it's Tuesday, the 24th. All right, my friends, have a great day. Try to stay cool. I will be back here tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. I hope to see you then. In the meantime, have a great day.